when looking at all of the children of Marika and Radagon from both their first marriages and while married to one another, there are unique patterns that could help to explain the fates of their cursed children. Some of this is obvious from the beginning, while others are learned as you progress into the DLC. Starting with Queen Marika and Godfrey's children, all of which were born with impurities. Moog and Morgott having omen blood, and Godwyn having an aquatic appearance after his body was left within the Deeproot depths. Godfrey having Sarash to hold back his warrior persona, and Marika having Radagon within her body. Then, for Radagon and Queen Renala's children, all of which were to have their souls be hosted in a new vessel for their own greater purposes. Radagon has his soul hosted in Queen Marika's body, and after Radagon left Queen Renala, she became obsessed with rebirth due to the amber egg that he left for her. Ronnie's soul being hosted in a doll, Rykar's soul being hosted in the god-devouring serpent, and Radon would have his soul hosted within Moog's body as Miquella's promised consort. Then, for Queen Marika and Radagon's children, Melania, Miquella, as well as the siblings Melina and Mesmer, whom are Queen Marika's children, but don't have their fathers confirmed definitively, due to their conception of their hermaphrodite parents, or at the very least, their mother. They are all complicated mixtures of a few different ideas, but we'll start with being the vessels for another being, with all but Miquella having beings within them that not only alter their physical appearance, but also influence them with darker, more sinister ambitions towards us because of the monsters that they would become. Melina guides us throughout the game, while also giving us clues to who Marika really is, but in the Frenzy Flame ending, reveals the Glowmite Queen's purple eye hidden behind her sealed up eye, promising us destined death. Melania was cursed with scarlet rot from the Rot God, an outer god that infected her with decay that would have her bloom into the Queen of Rot in her second phase, that wanted to show us true horror. Mesmer was born with the abysmal serpent within his body, and by shattering the seal of grace that Marika put within his eye socket, along with the burning of his own flame, would reveal his true serpentine nature to attempt to have us be taken into the jaws of his abysmal serpent. But with Miquella, he's different. Unlike the other three, he not only had golden hair like Marika, but he also stood out as being the darker persona compared to the half that he discarded. Saint Trina and Miquella are two people inhabiting one body, similar to Marika and Radagon. However, Miquella was able to remove her from himself, and for one campaigning on his new order to be acceptance of all, he couldn't accept her, his better and more kind half, of whom she understood the consequences of his actions and still only wanted what was best for him. He was the real monster, not her. Keeping with the last four children mentioned, aside from all being vessels for another, they all symbolize abandonment, in the same way that Marika abandoned her children in the Golden Order. They all abandoned her as well. Melina no longer driven by her mother's wishes, but chooses to be kindling for burning the Erdtree for her own reasons. Melania sides with Miquella, who wants to start a new order of compassion to replace Marika's Golden Order. Mesmer was loyal to Marika up to his final breath, when he curses her for not only her treatment of him and his men, but in allowing a Tarnished to become Lord, going against everything that he and the Golden Order once stood for.